Hi, and welcome to ForEnergy.com. This, of course, is Nye, your nappy Nubian Empress, coming to you.
Yes. And this is Bree Massey, just giving positive energy and just trying to dispel some of these mysteries of life that we experience. What you say, girl?
Yes, I do indeed agree with you on that. Before we get into tonight's topic, of course, we want to give a shout out to our producer, well, to our sponsors, which is buhosting.com, Urban Country Films Production as well. And of course, we love to give another shout out to Shelly Speaks. And we're keeping her in our prayers because we know we're gonna be missing. We're gonna be keep. She loves to keep us updated on what's going on in her neighborhood. She's very
Yes,
into what's going on. We just want to send her nothing but positive vibes and love.
absolutely.
Sprinkle all that,
Yes.
sprinkle all that right there on you, boo boo.
Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Yes.
Yes. So tonight's topic, as you all know, is called Cubs in the Jungle. Yes.
Yes.
And of course, oh, how could I forget? Happy Veterans Day to
Yes.
all of our soldiers who have fought for this country. You know, your this is what voting was all about. This is, for all of our freedom riders again, people, our soldiers, even in our immediate family who are fighting in the current wars, whatever that's all about. But we
Right.
appreciate you because you're right there.
Thank you so much for your service, ladies and gentlemen, fighting for this country to keep us free. Yes. Did I do it right?
I don't know. They earn their right. They earn a right. So tonight's topic, like I said, is called Cubs in the Jungle.
Mm,
And Bree, I know you were saying that this is all definitely a good topic because you, of course, have a son,
I do.
and we talk a lot about what we are trying to do for our children's future, and definitely we're going to get into a couple of topics that I will kind of say that were just handled handled wrong, for lack of better words. Is all I can say. But Brie, of course, you have your opinion on that as well because, like I said, you are a mother of a son, and there are even young girls who are being killed by our cops, by police officers, and things of that nature. So that's where me and you fall in a boat together, for our daughters.
Yeah.
But I know there's probably a different fear when you have, a son, when a majority of the black kids that are being killed by cops are black males.
Absolutely. I think that it has been that don't get it twisted. It's always been there. That threat of a police officer killing your son or daughter has always been a part of our history, you know? And I think that it's something that has always been more so not really discussed. Like, these dirty cops, they killing our kids. And then we just move through life accepting, the fate um, of our children. But nowadays, we have more of a voice um, as to what is going on, you know?
Yes, I definitely agree. Um, Now, one of the story we're gonna definitely discuss, two very distinct topics. Again, this is no disrespect to any mother who's lost a child to violent crime, especially when your child was killed by an official who's supposed to protect and serve.
Right.
that can
That
be a
part.
very devastating. I would honestly say a fragile mind such as myself, I don't know, like it doesn't matter if my child was right or wrong, just the fact that you were killed by a cop and I know that you're just a child.
Right.
It's like our children do stuff bad every day, we punish them, but they live to see another day and we hope that they've learned their lesson.
Right.
There, you just take my child's life in a time where he's still learning his lessons. You give him no choice.
Absolutely. Let me just stop you there. We got a message from Silver Lining. And she said, looking good as hell, Sabrina. Uh, I guess, I try, girl. I try.
You do, girl. You be doing that thing. You be representing for the mature ladies.
Yes. The maturity, the seasoned birds. Yeah. I think what really is my beef with how the police are handling these kids, it's just like you said, um, just like how we handle our children. We put them in timeout or we punish them, um, and hope that this punishment will sink in so that they'll do better. There's a process to um, handling these children. I'm not saying that my son is perfect, but to be honest, my son has never had any, bouts with police or being taken in the principal's office. I think something that I did sunk in, and I guess me being a single, well, co-parenting, I guess we did something right. But there's a process. There's a whole process that a lot of these cops or law enforcement are skipping, and it's almost like they're trying to prove a point um, against, and our children are suffering behind, excuse me, our kids are suffering behind them trying to prove a point. you know, like you ain't gonna act like this on these streets. And I'm gonna make it's almost like they make an example of these kids, and somebody needs to address how these police officers are handling these situations. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I'm definitely sure that that's one of the things a lot of Black parents should be highly interested in when you went to the poll.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
is I agree, co-parenting. That's why in a later episode we will talk about that. That is a very very great subject because I'm a single parent, and as you just admitted, co-parenting is a good thing. But on the subject at hand tonight about cubs in the jungle, a cub can be anything, whatever. I mean, Black women, let's just be honest. We see it when our kids interact with other kids. Um, for the most part, Black children have been raised a certain way,
Hmm.
and other kids, no matter if you're white, Hispanic, Arabic, whatever your nationality is, it's different.
Right.
It's different. I have spoken to officers before, obviously, because I'm a criminal, an ex-criminal. Spoken to a few of them.
Oh my
I've had a
goodness.
few conversations, so I'm not going to say I'm an expert because I'm still on this side of their walls. But I will say this: a cop once told me that every class of people have character have their own character. What do they call
Flaws,
them? Law, they're,
character flaws.
yeah, like the set of laws that they break, and he broke them down. He said the blacks are known for the drugs and violence. Um, Mexicans are known for abusing their women. Hispanic is mostly known for like abuse and scamming of, yeah, like abuse, mostly of that. The Haitian culture is mostly known for their scamming abilities, of course. And the whites, of course, are known for like fraud, check fraud, things of that nature. So
Right.
my point is, people, if an officer of the law has already told me as a citizen that this is how they're going to approach the situation with their understanding, that they have to know that is it a black, white, Hispanic male before they get to the scene.
Hmm.
They have to know these are the reasons, because it's classified. Like you're classified in, you know what I'm saying? Your majority of, not saying that they don't crisscross each other. It's just the vast majority of racially classified lawbreakers. I think that's the term he used.
Actually, what you're saying is they are racially profiling. They are racially profiling us. That's what it really boils down to. They're putting us in stereotypical positions. Okay, so before they when they get the call, okay, who's who am I dealing with? They white, they black, they Hispanic, so that they can know how to handle the situation um better. They know how to go in there,
Yeah,
because like they're not gonna handle going into someone's residence that is black. They're gonna handle the way that they approach a black residence differently than if it were a white residence. You feel
correct.
me?
Correct, pretty much. For example, like one of the stories that I want to share tonight is such as Trayvon Martin's situation.
Mm,
Okay. Yes, that's a pretty old story, but that was a highlight story for this generation of children who are learning education a little bit differently than we've learned it. And it's like it gives you the opportunity to really assess the information that you're receiving in school, and then what you're really seeing is going on in the real world, and then you put it all together and see where you fit in all of this.
right.
Okay. Now, the thing with Trayvon Martin, his case went south because, number one, honestly, you charged this man with the wrong crimes.
You talking
Trayvon,
about Zimmerman?
they charged Zimmerman with the wrong crimes. Yes, he did commit the act of murder, but if you had charged him for all the things he did that led up to the murder, which proves it, you see what I'm saying? You have to prove the crime. You got to prove the crime. And even though he invoked the fight by doing all the things Zimmerman did, even though Zimmerman invoked that fight,
Mm.
he invoked that child to feel like he was threatened.
Threatened.
He invoked that. He really did. The dispatcher told him numerous times to back off, and you still, that right there, because she's a dispatcher, because she's the liaison between the public and the police, right there, technically speaking, you disobeyed a law abiding a law enforcement officer.
You're
You
so
disobeyed.
true. And Andre says that Trayvon Martin was a victim of stand your ground.
He was. That's what I'm
But
saying. The
okay,
poor
so
baby, the poor
okay,
baby was
let me say this. That when I heard the story about Trayvon Martin, it broke me inside to think that this young man decided that he wanted to walk through a neighborhood to get home a little bit quicker. You know, he might not have lived in that neighborhood, but he was just trying to get home. And this man is purposely trying to upset this boy. He was looking to fight him. I mean, some people look to start a fight with him. You don't even, did he even live there? You don't even live there.
he
He
they
was like
put
some old toy cop.
because of his age, because of Trayvon Martin's age. Trayvon Martin, if I'm not mistaken, was like 16, 15.
Hmm.
Child endangerment, stalking,
Yeah,
kidnapping.
true.
These are these are all legitimate reasons why the boy had to fight for his life.
Hmm. That's true.
It would have justified the poor child not dying in vain. And that's what I want to tell y'all about stuff like this. Black children, when you're in a situation and a parent or a guardian is not there, you have to know, even though you're in a stand your ground space, all you gotta do is just stand with your hands like this. You ain't gotta open your mouth. You gotta open your mouth. You just stand with your hand. You don't have to say nothing. Whatever they're gonna do to you from then, don't resist. If he wants to arrest you because you're not saying anything, you're giving, it's like literally going to church. You gotta just give yourself to the Lord. All that tough guy shit. I don't know what y'all be listening to in that music. Now, I'm not saying that's what Trayvon did. I'm not blaming nobody for anything, but I'm just saying it's so sad because at the end of the day, you want to be sent, you want to come home, your mama wants you to come home. You have to do your part in this.
You know what though? I get it. You're you're saying that these cops or these visual and these people that are looking to start something, he was looking to start something, but you're saying that just kind of resist and just be don't do anything, just put your hands up, because this
Okay.
dude was looking, he was looking to start a fight with this young boy. He was
Okay.
looking.
Let me see. We have another comment. It says, we can't tell our kids to just let anyone arrest them. I agree. Okay, so let me clarify what I'm suggesting. Let me clarify for what I'm suggesting. I'm not saying to anyone because again, Zimmerman was not an officer. That's not what I'm saying. He was not an officer. That's why he could have been charged with all of the above. The stalking, kidnapping, he could have been any of those things that they could have charged him with. He was not a law enforcement officer. He was just an armed security guard in a neighborhood. That's all he was. What I'm saying is, okay, another story we have is what Mike Brown.
Okay.
Let's go with this example so I can make myself kind of clear. Now, Mike Brown was approached by an officer, if I'm not mistaken,
Hmm.
because he was walking in the middle of the street. Again, I understand that I'm from the hood. This my hood. This what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If a car coming, I just move out the way. It's not like it would be. I can understand the kid's position. This is not a street that it's crowded like this where I can't just walk. And who wants to walk under a bunch of trees and birds shitting all over you and branches all over the place? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to, come on now. But you was approached by a police officer, an officer of the law,
Right.
in uniform, in his car. Okay. The officer was wrong, I guess, if you want to say that. I don't know. I'm not even gonna deal with all the reaching of the car and grabbing him by the neck. But all I'm saying is once the officer had approached him, all he had to do was just stand like this. And whatever the officer say do, you just you don't have to say nothing, just move accordingly. You don't have to open your mouth so it won't be said you did anything or resisted. And on top of that, your hands are locked behind your head. You're not putting yourself in a position to be to have your life compromised, and at the same time you want to feel so rebellious where you got all this rights, then hey.
You know what? I don't even think that um I mean, but we've seen too many stories where adult men or children have decided to bow down and let the police officer know, hey, I'm not going to fight you, and they still got killed. Okay, I got a story for you. Now, I mean, all of these stories that we've been discussing, they kind of happened um, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I want you to stay with me a minute. There was a movie that I watched. I think it was on Netflix. It was based on I can't remember the young man's name. The name of the movie is called Fruitville. It was a train station, and this police officer attacked this young man and they killed him. Are you familiar with that?
Nope.
You don't remember the story of a black man that was killed in a outside of a train station, and they had witnesses that watched them kill this young man, a young man that resisted and was on his knees, and they killed him dead. They shot him dead. I can't remember the name. I cannot remember this dude's name. But what my point is, at what point is enough enough? At what point is this enough? It's like, do the police officers need to go and have some type of training so that they don't be killing people children? You understand what I'm saying? You just wanna tackle somebody and put a gun to their head. You're not gonna allow them to speak. They don't have no rights. We don't live in no third world country. We live in the United States. There is a protocol for these police officers, and they're not following it.
But they
And
getting off. But they getting off. That's my point. So it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. I don't know. Does anyone out there have a suggestion? Like, what are you teaching your kids? You've been in the house with your kids for the past few months. And then we came out of a pandemic to George Floyd. Same situation, grown man who did not resist and had a knee in his neck. You know what I'm saying? Same situation. So I mean,
I mean, like, to me, somebody needs to be responsible for these deaths. And I ain't talking about in the form of money, because money don't do shit for you at the end of the day when you just buried your child. You buried your child, and oh, I'm gonna throw you these dollars so you can shut the fuck up. What about my child? What about your responsibility as to protect and serve. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, I listen to how people respond to this. And the first thing they'll say, girl, they gonna get them parents gonna get some money. They're gonna get some millions. I don't give a damn about no money.
And
My
again,
child ain't here no more.
like Andre just said, we need a community. And that's true, because let me tell you something again, that goes back to my point about the stereotyping that the cops do. You have to look at the economics of it.
Mm.
Look at the economics of it. You have a bunch of poor Black families in your poor neighborhoods, and a lot of these things are happening, not necessarily, it's kind of happening in your I want to say middle class neighborhoods per se. They're not really your low class, because they know them niggas over there. They a whole them third world countries stupid. You ain't gonna come in the hood and just kill nobody up in like some like poking beans or
Right.
you don't see that type of shit on like first, you don't any of them shows on First 48, like New Orleans and my certain parts of Miami. You don't hear about no cop killing nobody, because let me tell you something, them niggas is a special kind of stupid. Like, they kill each other, but you ain't gonna come in their hood and kill one of them. But we ain't gonna talk about that right now. So they do this in like the middle class per se neighborhoods, where they're not as stupid, but you ain't high class and enough.
Right.
At least we think you're not.
Right.
At least we think you're not. And that's another trend that I noticed about it, is my point. It's not gonna be like that. Another thing I look at is again, when you've been in the house these past few months, what exactly have you been teaching your kids? Because I know it's still a real life fear when you have another shooting. You got Breonna Taylor. She was in her house, baby. She was in her house.
True.
Like like I say, I'm not an expert on none of this. There needs to be training. There needs to be some kind of, recognition. Somebody needs to die. And when you have these people who almost don't have money, and the first thing you expect them to do, which is what they have done which is what we pretty much have done in the past, how we get over, we sue.
Yeah.
We sue our jobs. We sue our slip and fall. I mean, we make a joke about it. Look at Friday. Oh, my neck and my back. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Right.
And the first, when somebody hit us in a car, oh, I'ma sue you. And you're right. Like that's he go a few dollars and go away. And then you have like the socially unbalance, of it is what it is. Now we do have another comment. It looks like Lamont Vick. Hi, hey, Mr. Vincent. He says, I believe they made a movie about what she is saying about the killing at the police station. It's called Fruitville. His name was Oscar Grant.
Oscar Grant.
And of course, Andre is talking about Sandra Bland. That was another one that was a total innocent thing. How did you go from being pulled over in a city where you went for an interview to dying in a cell and somebody talking about his suicide?
Right. Right. Exactly. So for anyone that is coming in for the first time, welcome. Welcome to our podcast. We are talking about the name of the topic is kids, cubs. I forgot the name of the topic. Help me, girl. Cubs in the jungle. And we basically are talking about police brutality among our brown and black kids, our sons and our daughters are dying in these streets. And if you guys have comments or concerns, post a comment, call in. We want to hear you.
Yes, yes. The phone
We
number
want
to
to hear your
call
voice because it's just so much anger that is going on, in on the internet, in these streets, in our communities. These kids are angry. These parents I'm angry. I'm angry because it seems like my life and our children's lives don't mean anything, and it's a hurtful feeling, because no matter what color or creed, um, my dreams are the same, that I have the same dreams that you have, no matter what our backgrounds are. I want a good life. I want a good family. I want to watch my children grow. Just because you're white or, have some type of money or prestige don't make your life better than mine. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And when you have power, you should not play with that. You shouldn't abuse your power just because you can. You know, a lot of the young people in the hood, this is not just a message to black on blue crime, because even though these white officers, they're still officers in blue, and they're still getting away with it. And we still have black people that stand behind these laws that the white officers are killing our black and brown kids getting away with. So we got to just call the whole situation blue. We can't just, again, we don't want to get into the racial. We understand that when you see it, it's the white on the black, but what they got on, they blue and they green suits, they
Right.
sheriff's office and they stuff, they all that. But
Okay, so I wanna also
what's up?
bring this out to light. We as a people are, I mean, it's about prejudice. But when you say that we're prejudiced against ourselves, we have hate against each other. You know,
Mhm.
I'm
We talked about
serious. We
that.
have, okay,
We talked,
like,
remember
okay,
we talked about that. We talked
that
about
thing
that.
that you that thing that you like to say, being devil's advocate. Okay? Being devil's advocate. I'm gonna be devil's advocate, okay?
Gone
So,
now.
I am American. I was born here. I was born and raised in America. And I hope nobody come and try to flat my tires. But I remember, when, and I used to live down south in a community called Goulds, Florida. Hey, for the people that live in Goulds. And like, I remember when, like, since it's like a community where they have a lot of field picking, like beans and oranges and stuff like that. And I remember a lot of islanders would come and live, have a camp in our community, near our community. And I remember, like, people would, used to be a lot of Jamaicans and Bahamians that would come in and do a lot of work, even Mexicans. And even though um, my grandfather worked alongside of these people, he still would talk shit about them and say racist things about them like it's cool. And we still do that today. We still do that today. You know what I'm saying? But this still, no matter where you come from, Haitian, Jamaican, you come from India, we all are still human. We still live and breathe, and we have blood coursing through our veins. We're not any different but we treat each other like we are. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
it's because of our different cultures that we treat each other differently, you know? And it kind of bothers me because, I try to make a point of keeping people that I trust close to me and try to take out the differences between us. I have friends that are Haitian. They're Haitian American, but their parents come from Haiti. And I remember when we was going to school, I'm a little older than you. I'm a lot older than you. And I remember going to school and people saying, "Oh, them damn Haitians, they stink. They cook cat," you know. And I used to think to myself, "Oh my God, these people actually eat cat." Until I became friends with a family and got to know them and be around them and interact with their parents. And it was a total lie. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we commit self-hate on each other because even though they were born in another country, they still is black. They are black people. Why would I look down on somebody because they do things differently from what from how I do things? You know what I'm saying? We got a comment. Um,
looks
I
like
guess Lamont Vincent Benson says we have to somehow get the system changed to where the police and are held accountable for their actions. If they are not held accountable for their actions, they can basically do what they want by saying they were in fear for their life. Exactly. Thank you so much for that. But let me tell you something. Somebody brought to my attention about how to get these cops from doing these treacherous things to these kids. And one thing that they brought up is hit them in their pocket, take away their benefits, the things that they really treasure, the things that they need, that insurance and stuff
yeah.
like that. If you are found guilty, then not only are you going to lose your job, you lose your, what is that they get?
Return.
Their retirement. You lose all of that. You'll
Okay.
see a different change in how they handle themselves because it's wrong. It's completely wrong. But I thank you so much for your comment, Lamont. Thank you so much. That's they need to be accountable for their actions.
Like I say, honestly, in the Trayvon Martin situation, the Zimmerman guy, he was not a cop. He was just a little armed security guard. He definitely could have been held accountable for his actions that led up to the young boy's death.
Yes.
Um, Not saying that Mike Brown was in the wrong, but based on the information that I understood, I would not have seen myself or any child I would raise that close to a police car
Right.
unless you're being arrested and you're about to be put in there. Like a cop would have had a cop would have had to come in my space.
Right. I mean, to me, I watched the reenactment of the the video of how everything went down, and a lot of that reenactment was kind of sketchy. I don't understand or believe that this young 18-year-old boy would reach into the car of a police officer that we know he carrying a gun. Why would he reach into
That's
the
my point.
car to
That's my
grab his gun? That don't make no sense.
That's my point. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. And it's like to each his own how you handle, you cannot give an answer for each of these situations because they've already happened. The example has already been made that it can easily be any one of us at any given time. Even locally, we had a young man that, was killed by an officer in the hood. And if I'm not mistaken, that officer was charged for that because this young man and the officer had history. Again, this is what you will not hear about stuff like that on the news because it
Right,
just happened in the hood. They already know if you don't handle this,
right,
them niggas will be up there. They will have their dreadhead cousins and they stupid nephews, and like just what grandma had in Friday. You cuss grandma out if you want to. You hurt grandma grandson if you want to. She got
right,
some other grandchildren that you ain't never heard about, and they fresh out of prison and they tired of fucking these stupid assholes. They ready to go back for grandma.
right, right.
So they took care of that situation like immediately, when it happened, because like I said, the cop and this young man actually had history of the back and forth, and the young man was shot in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now, don't make us call grandma and her nephews and grandsons.
Right. We got another comment, and
Mhm.
they say we should go after the cops' insurance companies.
Well,
Like I
they took
said,
that's they expect that. It's again, like you said, when it comes to the month, they think they can just pay and it's gonna be over. But again, you still took my son life, and they like, well, you get money and we made our point, so why you mad?
no, no, no. Meaning instead of the city of Miami-Dade
Hmm.
or Miami-Dade County paying off all those millions of dollars to the families, they
Hmm.
should do this a different way. They should go after the police officers' insurance companies, cutting them off from those benefits. It's something that they
Their
get.
liability.
No, no, no. Like the thing that they really need. The,
Hmm.
the reason why they go for jobs like this is because they got a lot of um, pension. Their pension. Remember,
That's
they
the
get
word
a
you
pension
mentioned.
after working for a number of years. And then they have good insurance. You know what I'm saying? All of those things fall into play as to why these guys choose these jobs in law enforcement. And then I always felt like um, guys that wanted to become police officers was that, that nerdy guy that got beat up in school. You know what I'm saying? And they want to, it was, they on some revenge shit, you know. That's how I
Mhm.
always picture. I don't know, but I just felt like they wanted to get back for those whippings that they might have gotten when they were in high school and junior high school, making somebody have to pay for it.
Yeah. Hey, we got Miss Shelley Fain. She says,
Hey.
hey, ladies, checking in with the Black community. The hidden hand is what keeps us against each other, keeping us divided and disenfranchised is big business. Yep. The
Mhm.
only way to combat this is getting a code of conduct. There's power in numbers. If we can't be treated fairly, we'll separate ourselves from the larger society. I agree. Um,
It's
you know,
totally, I totally agree with that.
and just for those who didn't understand where that's coming from, I'm gonna, just help make sure I'm understanding what she's saying. Okay, let's take the fact that if you look at all these situations that we've discussed tonight, they're all different. They all happen in different parts of the United States, in different corners, different sections. So it's not just in one particular section. It's like the example is being made everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
We're making marches, we're making protests, we're doing it, and it seems to kind of like fizzle out. And then another one happens and we riot up again and it fizzles out, and we go back to our everyday lives, and then boom, COVID hit. Everybody was affected. And I'm gonna tell you something. I remember around that time, Miami-Dade, if I'm not mistaken, they was in the news because for 7 weeks they had no murders. That was their longest time in history, and I think about 100 years where they had no murders. Like I say, that community right there. Stay on First 48, baby. Check it out. It come on A&E TV. You will see it. So my point is, like you saying, you need a community. When you need a community that stand together, it's like, why does when every murder happen, no matter where it happens at, we get outraged, but we still just fizzle out?
Right. So
We
let
just,
me ask you a question now.
yeah.
Do you feel like all of the writing that we have experienced this year, do you feel like there was a point to this? Or do you feel like, as a result of the writing, there has been a change in the forecast and the atmosphere, for our children? Do you really feel like it made a difference?
I'm praying. I'm hoping. I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to see no more examples on the TV like that. I
Yeah.
don't really want to see any more black on black crimes, but my honest opinion is, if you look in the Bible of Revelations, and the first time it said that God ended the world by flood, and the next time it was going to be ended by fire. Okay. Now stay with me. I may be like way out there, but if I am, bring me back, Bree.
Okay.
Okay. Ever since the beginning of the creation of fire, and then you turn it into like gunfire, cannons, war, street violence, and then you couple it. I don't know, I need to look that word up. I keep saying it, but I don't know if it's a real word. But when you put it together with you know the mind games that they plant in black people, and how the scene had been set, because since day one, when you were it's like we separate more because all we try to focus on is just our home,
Right.
and that's a good thing. I feel that having Obama in office was a good example to show black families. I've been seeing more and more black fathers, and it's becoming more and more normal to me now. Something
Right.
I've been through a whole phase of. So, like I said, I'm hoping and praying, as time goes on. This is why we have to do our part little bit by little bit. We have to maintain our communities. We have to stay more involved. We have to be a part of the solution, of course, as individuals and as a community, because each one can do, each piece of pie makes the whole group eat.
Okay. I got Shelly posted a comment, and she says protesting isn't effective enough. She says that we have to do something different now. So, with that being said, and also, um, Andre says it fizzles out because we move from emotions. We need to build all of that time, not emotions. Okay. Um, I mean, I know we're about to be closing soon, but
Okay.
my my take on it is I feel like the protest did make I feel like the protest did make a difference. I think that all of these fires that have been set in all of these different parts of the United States that people were standing out, screaming and making their voices heard. Yes, a lot of damage was made, and a lot of people were, you know, affected by the protesters, damage to their buildings and stuff like that. I get it. But like, I've never seen a time where we had so many people from around the world shouting one voice. This is wrong and it needs to change. And I don't see nothing wrong with our voices being heard. This is the first time that I can say that our voices have been heard and the powers that be realize that they can't play with us no more. Something, and it's just like Shelley says, something needs to be done now. And I'm hoping that with this new president, new leadership, these things are going to be addressed. But like, for real, each of us need to play a part on making it safer for our children, making it safer for our communities. You know what I'm saying? We can't expect, I mean, like on a national level, we got the police, I mean, we got the president, but we also have to address our own communities locally.
Yes, like Shelley, like Shelley was saying, we need a universal code. We need a code among us, and we don't. And it also goes, and that's why it's funny Shelley would say that because I watched her show one night and she was speaking against Dr. Umar, not against him, because she's interested in him, and I understand why. And actually, Dr. Umar, he makes a point in that sense. If I remember what the point was, he was saying he's Shelley was saying we need a code among us. And Dr. Umar's point is Black people fail to have something just for themselves. They feel like the very people that brought you here are going to be the ones to save you. That's why he does not get himself involved in things where there are other races. You can't be talking about you're fighting and you're marching for a brother and you got all these white people out here. No, this is about our fight, our struggle. This is our business. That, and I feel what he's saying, that's just like what Shelley is saying. A code. Like it's like that's again my point, why this stuff happens in the middle class community. You're not going to get away with this, and there's no financial gain in a high class community, so you're not going to bother with those kids there. You know that your low economic kids are basically third world stupid, real for real, for real. Like, you're not gonna get away with this type of stuff in that neighborhood because first of all, them children are not afraid of you. There's murders down here of police officers that ma'am, they have not been solved yet. These little
Yeah,
boys and girls
cold
don't
case.
play. These little boys and girls down here in these wick of the woods, they don't play.
Yeah,
Okay? They don't play with each other. So you ain't gonna come in their neighborhood and kill them, Mr. Officer. I promise you that. But
right.
saying that's why you do it in the middle class neighborhood where, okay, you might flip a coin and run across that one. I will not surprise if these were objects that they planted to do, like you said, examples being made, because what is the first thing they do? They try to annihilate their character on the
Yeah.
news, and it's always, so why of all the people in the world, you see what I'm saying? You see where
Right.
I'm going with this? I'm not just talking shit because I smoke weed. I'm dead ass serious about this shit. I'm dead at like it goes that deep into my thought process because I be thinking like, are you fucking kidding me? And y'all niggas really fall for this shit.
Yo, Shirley say you speaking facts now. You really
Like
speaking facts.
you niggas really fall for it. And then like everybody, and like another thing Dr. Umar said, you think these crackers stupid? The pandemic was gonna send these businesses out of business anyway, because they ain't been in business for the past 4 months.
Right.
Everything online been popping. So of course they was gonna stand down and let you motherfuckers fuck they shit up. So
Yeah.
the insurance and them benefits and
Insurance company.
them pensions can what Bruce Lee in on that ass.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm sorry, y'all know I be going on my little tantrums. I go there, I be and I ain't baby, let me beg, let me
Yes.
sit big, let me sit big. But anyways, I'm gonna let you go on and close. I need to just chill for a minute.
Oh my God. So
Yeah, because I feel what she come like Shelly said, we need a code. Like Dr. Umar said, you niggas don't have nothing for yourself. You always got to break. Like we have nothing. And then when you go to, like you saying, the other Black communities, as a person who's a teacher, I know I done got back on the subject again, but my bad. Let me give me 1 minute. Hold on. When as a teacher,
hold on. Yes.
when you see these Haitian kids, they stick together in the classroom. When you see the Hispanic kids, they stick together in the classroom. The white kids stick together in the classroom. Goddamn niggas all fighting each other.
Yeah. And we don't trust each other.
And you know what the code is in their little culture? They speak their own language. So and then they learn in your language. So they look at you like, look at, this is what we're here for. Oh my goodness, what is this shit? I have to go home and tell the mom because mom is going to a doctor's appointment and I have to translate for her.
Yes.
And they miss it, but that's what I'm saying. Stupid.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it's been real. It's been so thought-provoking. If you guys have any other questions or concerns, post it, send it to us. We want to hear it. We want to talk about it. Nye,
Yes.
it's been real, girl. You know I love you, girl.
I'm gonna
need you to calm down now. I would need you to
right.
I would need you to calm down. But good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.